Whoa! Gate alarm beeps, pool deck is packed with glitter tubes, and it's 4:58 p.m. on a weekday with 12 wristbands on 8 wrists while 2 SUVs idle at the hydrant. If you've ever watched a quiet swim hour turn into a parking puzzle, this one's yours. You're seeing the same thing I'm seeing, right? The wristbands don't match the season color. They're last year's orange. This year is teal. I'm not trying to embarrass anyone. I'm trying to avoid the moment a lifeguard has to ask kids to leave while parents argue in front of them. The HOA pool pass is 1. Household plus 4 guests. You've got 9 folks inside the gate and 2 more at the table. I hear you that they're family, visiting. I have family too. I also have a rule sheet in my glove box like a weirdo. The gate beeping is because the latch is propped. Please, don't wedge it. It messes with the auto lock and the insurance carrier hates when we defeat safety gear. I put a paper notice on the gate this morning about guest limits. No paper is easy to ignore. That's why I walked over. I'm not recording you. I'm holding my phone because the officer said to keep it handy when we talked last week about hydrants, also because I'm nervous. People mistake nervous for bossy. You're saying you just wanted one. Afternoon with your sister's kids. I want that for you. I also want the toddler. Class in 10 minutes to have deck space and the carrier to reach the hydrant if a grill goes wrong. The SUVs at the red curb are a problem. The hydrant has to stay clear. Guest parking is open on the north side. I checked as I walked in. No, I didn't call the police on your family. I called the non-emergency line because the gate is wedged, the hydrant is blocked, and the guest count is over the posted limit. We can fix all 3 without tears if we talk now. Please don't raise your voice. The kids are listening. I'll lower mine if you lower yours. I'm not the HOA president. I'm the person who updates the pool FAQ and gets sunburned. In a baseball cap? Also the person who knows where the spare teal bands live. We can swap the old bands and count guests like adults. There. Hear that? Cruiser turning the corner. Please don't panic. It's a conversation, not a citation party. Good afternoon, officer. Thanks for coming. We've got a wedged gate alarm, cars at the red curb by the hydrant, and an HOA pool guest overage using last year's bands. The wristband color isn't a police thing. I'm just giving context. Hydrant and fire lane are yours. Safety first. You're confirming the red curb is enforceable anytime and hydrants must be fully open. Thank you. No, I didn't want a ticket. I want the cars moved now and the gate to latch. He says they'll move the SUVs. Thank you. Guest spots across from the tennis court are free. Yes, it's a longer walk in flip-flops. We will all survive 20 extra steps about the bands. I can hand you the right color bands if we get within the guest limit. 1 household plus 4 guests. Right now you've got a household of 4 and 9 guests. That's too many. I know it's summer. I know cousins happen. We can split the group into 2 shifts. 4 guests now, the rest after toddler class. The deck clears around 6 hours when swim team finishes. Nobody gets shamed. Everybody swims. The rules stay a seatbelt, not a siren. I hear you. Your sister leaves at 6. Then we keep 4. Guests at the pool now, and the rest do the splash pad. Around the corner, we can meet later at the grill with pizza. I'll even help haul a cooler, if that buys peace. The lifeguard is looking at us like they don't want to referee. Adults, let's make their day easy. Officer, could you say the thing about propped gates? You're right. Not a ticket, but a safety risk. Emergency responders need closed, self-latching gates at pools, and kids who can't swim love a propped gate. You're going to note advised in your log? Thank you. That helps if someone claims we invented the caution sign. You're whispering that you didn't know the bands changed color each season. We change colors to stop last year's bands from becoming lifetime passes, not to be sneaky, just to reset the count and keep the deck at a size humans can enjoy. Your brother-in-law is asking if he can buy extra guest passes on the spot. Not today. The system is tied to the household account, so the lifeguard doesn't become a cashier. I can request temporary extra capacity for a birthday or reunion if I have a week's notice. I can't do it at 4:59 with the toddler class rolling in. He says he paid dues, so why can't he invite who he wants? Because everyone else paid dues too. If 2 households bring 9 guests each at the same hour, the deck is a festival. Festivals are fun. They are not safe on our small pool deck. Look, the SUVs are moving. Thank you. Now the hydrant is open and I can unclench. The gate wedge is out. Thank you again. Hear the latch? That click is the sound of insurance premiums that don't rise. Can we count wrists quietly at the table? 1, 2, 3, 4 adults. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 children. Plus the 2 at the edge. Kicking. That's 11 guests. We need to be at 4. You're glaring because it feels like I'm policing. Fun. I'm counting like a librarian because librarians keep rooms usable. Officer, you don't need to weigh in on numbers. You already won the day with hydrants. But would you mind explaining that we're making a plan to avoid conflict? You will? Thanks. He's saying he heard both sides. The car's moved, the gate is safe, and we're talking it out. That matters. Okay. Realistic options. Option A. 4 guests stay with you now. The others head to the splash pad and come back at 6 when the deck thins. Option B. You all pivot to the splash pad for an hour. Then the whole family swims when the swim team leaves and space opens even within limits because other households go home. Option C. 4 swim now. 4 eat pizza at the tables outside the gate, rotate every 30 minutes. The lifeguard can't manage the rotation. You will, you pick, you chose A. 4 guests stay now, the rest to the splash pad. Good call. I'll hand you teal bands for your 4 guests and collect the orange ones so we don't confuse the guard. Hand me the old bands. Please, I promise I'm not starting a black market in bands. I'm headed back to the office after this and I'll recycle them into next year's craft project. You're still tight around the eyes. I get it. Your sister flew in and the idea of splitting the group feels like a buzzkill. Let me sweeten it. I'll reserve the picnic shelter at 6. I'll bring trash liners and a roll of paper. Towels, because kids and popsicles were invented to test gravity. We'll make the second half feel like a plan, not a punishment. Also, I'll cover a stack of guest hang tags for the cars so the evening is easy. We're neighbors, not prosecutors. You're asking about the cousin who doesn't swim but wants to sit by the water. Non-swimmers count as guests when they're inside the gate. They don't count when they're outside at the tables. That's why the tables exist. They're the ring road around the pool. You're worried the splash pad is for little kids. It is. That's also why it's empty at 5. Big kids think they're beyond it. They're not beyond laughing. For 20 minutes and coming back sun-warmed and less wired. The sea lifeguard is waving me over. Yes? We're fine. Thanks for the thumbs up. Back to us. The teal bands go on these wrists. Your sister, your brother-in-law, your niece, your nephew. The rest grab water, sunscreen, and shoes. I'll walk you to the splash pad path and show the shortcut past the tennis courts. Officer, anything else we should lock in before we split the group? Your recommendation, exchange numbers. Text before calling, keep the gate latched. No saving chairs with towels when you leave the deck. Yes, the towels thing is a quiet war. We're trying to end it with a sign and hope. You ask, what about floats? Single-person tubes are fine if the deck is quiet. No giant rafts, they eat the lane. If it's crowded, the guard will ask for tubes to come out. It's not personal. It's math. You're nodding. Good. Math is a kinder word than no. Okay, Group A, 4 teal bands. Group B, shoes on. We'll go now. Please don't yank on the gate. It latches on its own. That's its whole personality. Follow me. Take the path. Behind the hedges. Watch the sprinklers. Wet patches get slick. There's the splash pad. Shade to the left. I'll snag a deck cart for your cooler. We'll park it by the picnic shelter so you don't haul it twice. Want ice? There's a machine in the clubhouse lobby. Bring a buck or a smile. Sometimes smiles work. All right, I'm heading back to the pool to make sure the toddler class has space. If you need anything, text me. I'll respond faster. Then the office line, because I am a human who cannot ignore. Dings. Back at the pool, deck looks calmer. Kids are kicking and counting like little metronomes. Your 4 guests are in the shallow end playing mermaid. Tag. That's perfect. Your niece forgot her teal band on the table. Here. Wrist? Please. Thanks. No big deal. Bands are like socks. They wander. The officer is standing by the hydrant, making sure no one decides red curb means drop zone. He gives me a small nod. That nod is oxygen I needed. That. You're back at the gate with 2 kids and 1 grown-up. Those kids are new. We're full on your account, right? Now, 4 guests is our cap. I'm not being harsh. I'm protecting your spot and everyone else's. Rotate at 6. I'll be here with pizza napkins. You. Ask if we could swap someone out mid-hour because 1 kid is just dunking their head. If they're behind the gate, they're a guest. We can swap at the half hour if someone actually leaves the gate area and doesn't linger. We don't count people who teleport. We count bodies inside the fence. The lifeguard glances at us again. I give a thumbs up. They return to scanning. We're okay. Your sister texts from the splash pad. They're happy. Do we really have to come back? No. If Happy found them, chase it. I'll still keep the shelter for 6 in case Happy evaporates. You're smiling like this is less awful than you thought. It is less awful than you thought, because most tension is uncertainty wearing flip-flops. Here comes the officer to check in. He asks whether the cars stayed out of the red curb. They did. He says he'll do a drive-through at 6 to see the handoff. That's generous. We'll honor it by not creating a scene. It's almost 5:30. Swim. Team starts filing in at 5:45. We'll have a new kind of busy in 10 minutes. Need you to keep your 4 in the shallow end until 6. Then make space for the little lane. Monsters. They are adorable and relentless, and their parents are 1 headphone away from crying. The whistle. Just blew for toddler class. Announcements, I'll step back. We're good. At 5:55. The deck is a ballet of fins and kickboards. Your 4 are perched on the edge, sharing snacks. Thanks for pulling the chips back from the water. Crumbs make filters. Cry. You ask if the grill by the shelter is available. Yes, first come, first served. Clean after. I'll bring a brush. Please don't use lighter fluid like it's a cologne. The wind turns us into a campfire story, and the officer has to come back for a different reason. Okay, 6 o'clock. Group B walks back. I see cousins, sandy hair, big smiles. They look like the commercial we wish we could afford to film. Teal bands for the second group. Please, old orange bands to me. Thank you. Rotate your 4 out so we see the count change in real time. Don't do the, we're just staying until they put on sunscreen trick. That trick is how the deck becomes a debate club. You're doing it right. Thank you. The lifeguard noticed, too. They nodded so hard I thought their visor might fly. The officer rolls past the hydrant slow, sees the open space, and gives a tiny wave. He wave back like people in a parade no one planned. Pizza arrives. You hand me a slice. I accept because neighbor law requires accepting pizza offered. With eye contact, we talk about nothing for 2 minutes. It helps. You mentioned you didn't realize the HOA could flex on big family days with notice. We can. We just need time to staff, set expectations with guards, and prep the deck. We bend rules at the hinge, not at the lock. You ask how to get on the email list that tells you when bands change color and when swim team starts. Add your email on my phone. You'll get the next pool packet with everything. In 1 human paragraph and a map doodled by someone who believes in arrows. We're not the DMV. We're just trying to look like grown-ups while sunscreen stings our eyes. It's 6:15. The deck has that humming energy that comes with rhythm. No one is yelling. No one is wedging gates. No one is inventing new ways to park at a hydrant. We have achieved suburban détente. You ask about tomorrow, cousins. Want to come back? Tomorrow is open swim from noon to 4. Guest cap remains 4. If you want extra, email me by 9 a.m. and I'll see if the schedule can flex for an hour. No promises, just effort. You ask if floats are allowed during noon crush. No, noon crush means just you and your bubbles. Tubes after 2 unless the guard says otherwise. You ask if the teal bands are yours to keep. Yes, through this season. Don't give them away or we restart this conversation. On a less charming day, if you lose them, the office can reissue for a small fee. It's 6:30. You're packing up. Thank you for wiping the table. Thank you for checking under the chairs for rogue grapes. Thank you for not leaving a wet towel like a jellyfish. Your sister returns from the splash pad and declares the water colder than she remembers. It always is when The sun drops. We talk weather like normal. People. The officer swings by one last time. Windows down. All set? He asks. All set, we say. He smiles with that minimal nod they teach in calm school. The gate latches. Behind the last cousin, it clicks like a period. I breathe for the first time in an hour. You come back to the fence and say, thanks for not making it weird. I say, thanks for not making me the villain in a story you tell at Thanksgiving. We grin like people who might actually talk next. Time before dialing anyone, I hand you a sheet with the HOA pool FAQ and a sticky note that says email. A week ahead for big groups. We'll try. You stick it to your fridge in your mind. We walk to the shelter and gather the trash. We tie the bag like shipmates. We carry it to the bin like a peace offering. The hydrangeas look brighter now that the hydrant is visible. That's not true. Scientifically. It is true. Emotionally. I tell you about the time I propped the gate with my shoe because my hands were full of pool noodles and got a lecture from the lifeguard who was 12 and correct. You laugh. It heals something. The kids run ahead, counting the steps to the parking lot. They sound like math on the loose. I'll send you the links to the splash pad, the pool calendar, and the guest pass request form. Text me if the link breaks. Our website hiccups like a toddler. We're good? We're good. Next time, text first and we'll plan the fun, not patch it. Next time, I'll bring more plates. I always underestimate pizza physics, and next time, if the hydrant empty space looks tempting, imagine the officer's left eyebrow. We both laugh. That eyebrow is famous now. Okay, enjoy your evening. I'm going home to pretend I don't. Smell like chlorine and diplomacy. We'll see you at movie night Friday if you can make it. Bring a blanket and a non-spilling cup. I'll bring the quiet hope that we won't need a cruiser to seat a picnic. If you're still watching, I want your take. Should HOA pools stick to a strict one household plus 4 guests rule all summer, or allow temporary extra bans for family visits with advance notice? And what's your best way to manage parking near hydrants during busy pool hours without turning the street into a ticket trap? Drop your strategies and pool deck hacks in the comments. Your idea might save a lifeguard from playing referee and a neighbor from a fine.